Hey, what's up you guys? Aaron from Clever Programmer here, and today we're going to be delving into dictionaries in Python. So first off, dictionaries are just another data structure in Python. They are known as maps or hash maps if you're coming from another programming language. And pretty much they're really good for having super organized data. They're basically mini databases. Also, they're fast as hell. You can index into them in constant time. Dictionaries are used like everywhere pretty much. The contacts in your phone, like if you have like a bunch of phone numbers and email addresses associated with a name, that is how it's stored in a phone using a dictionary. If you have like a grocery list app on your phone or something that's like saying, oh, okay, I need to buy 17 pancakes and 4.5 hula hoops, then a dictionary is probably how it's implemented. It's very good for basically storing data in a database because that's pretty much what it is. What we'll be going over is how to create dictionaries, like the syntax of them, how to index into dictionaries, how to add to dictionaries, what key value pairs are in an element of a dictionary, and functions like get, items, keys, values, pop item, and clear, okay? What those all do, and then we'll be going over a few examples and even how you could sort a dictionary. So if any of that is what you're looking for, then that's what I cover in this video. Let's get started. So let's just create a dictionary. All right, let's just call it dictionary. So the way a dictionary works is instead of having elements that you can index into with numbers, like in a list, if you guys don't remember if you have a list, then you would index it like this or something, listed 0, listed 1, listed 2, etc. Instead of doing something like that, in a dictionary, you can actually specify what your index names are. So, and these can be anything actually, but usually they are strings. Let's just show you that. So we could say, let's say we have, actually, let's do an example. Let's say we have let's say we have some groceries, okay? You could put some things here. So you could put bananas in strings and then have a colon here and then have a number, okay? So this is what a one element dictionary looks like. There's a little thing here on the left of a colon, usually a string, and then a colon, and then another value over here, okay? So that's one element in a dictionary. Two elements would look like this: oranges. 3. All right, I think you guys understand by this point. So this is the first element of the dictionary, and this is the second element. So now that you've seen what it looks like, I'll explain. So a dictionary is a way you can organize data in a more organized manner. That was a little redundant, but pretty much you can say that these two things, for each item in the dictionary, these two things are associated. So this on the left is actually called a key. This on the right is actually called a value. This is called a key value pair. They have these in every programming languages. You might know them as maps or hash maps in other programming languages, but in Python, they're called dictionaries. Same thing here. This is a key and this is a value, and these are a pair. These will always be together. So what's cool about dictionaries is that if you have a dictionary, we have a dictionary called groceries. Instead of, if I wanted to get the first element here, bananas, and 5, I can't just stick in 0 like this because that's not going to work. All right. What you actually need to do is put in bananas. So you see how we're indexing into this dictionary with the key. Okay. We need the key. That's why it's called a key. You need the key to get the value. So let's run this and see what happens. Oh. Or let me chuck in a print statement first. Let's see what happens. As you can see, 5 popped up, which is this 5 right here. Because we used bananas here as the key, then it gets its associated value, which is 5. If we put in oranges here, you can believe me that 3 would pop up. Go try it yourself if you don't believe me, but yeah, I'm pretty sure most of you can make that conclusion yourself. It'll work the exact same way as this bananas did. All right, so that's how you index into a dictionary using this notation here. But you might be asking, okay, well, in a list, if I put in a number that's not in the list, like if I had a list of length 5 and I put in an index of like 300, then you're gonna get an error. Same deal with dictionaries. If you put in something like a key that doesn't exist in dictionary, then you'll actually get a key error. See, a key error right here. It says hello is not in the dictionary, which makes sense. So actually, instead of using this bracket notation here, you're kind of like indexing into a list, but you're indexing into a dictionary. There's actually a method called .get, which does the exact same thing, but if the key is not found in the dictionary, then it won't give you an error. It'll just say none. It'll just spit out a none type. So you'll avoid this red text of doom and death, and everything will work fine. So if I put in actually let's put in oranges just to show you. Okay, bananas again. Bananas. Just keep it simple and or keep it consistent. If I run this, you're gonna get 5, just like when we use brackets. Okay, but if I put hello, which isn't a key in the dictionary, and I hit run, then you just get none instead of the big error. So that's a nice little method that you're given. It just does a little safety check within this get method. It probably does the bracketing itself into the dictionary, but it says if it's not in the dictionary, then return none rather than giving us an error. So that's a nice thing to use. You can, if you know it's in the dictionary, you can just use the bracket notation. But if you don't know, then it's better to use get. It's just safer. Okay. So those are some basics of dictionaries. Dictionaries are very, very good for these kinds of things. Maybe another example we have is maybe we had a contact list. Okay, so if you had a contact or contacts, let's say you had a bunch of friends and they all had phone numbers. Okay, how would you do that with a list? How would you associate a phone number with friends? I mean, you could have like one list called names and then one list called phone numbers, and then just have the corresponding elements all be each other. But that's just kind of silly because it's like 2 separate lists, and if one gets screwed up or there's a mistake in one, then then the entire thing's messed up. Like if one things if like the first name got deleted, then everything's gonna shift over, and it's just a big mess. So that's where dictionaries come into play. Okay, you could have something like this, and I'm just going to format it differently so that it's nicer to look at. Let's just say you had Joe as a friend, okay, and his phone number was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. All right, and then you had Jane, and her phone number was 987 6543. Okay, so this here shows us that Joe and this phone number are corresponding because this is the key and this is the value. Same with Jane. So now we can actually just index into this using the name, and we can get, so if we wanted to get Joe's phone number, we would just put in Joe into contacts, and what's the issue here? Oh, I forgot a comma. Yeah, you need a comma to separate all of the dictionary values. What is happening here? Contacts. Oh, silly me. So the formatting was fine here, okay? But obviously, I can't have these dashes in these numbers, okay? Python doesn't know what the heck this is. It thinks it's 987. Well, actually, no. Python thinks it's 987 minus 6,543. And and Python thinks that this is 123 minus 4,567. What I actually need is just the phone number, like that, okay, without the dash. Stupid. Or we could even use strings, okay? We could actually do this. Why don't we do this? This makes more sense. Okay, hit run. There we go. And this string gets given back to us when we get Joe. And if we wanted Jane, you better believe it, we get her phone number too. Okay, so that's pretty cool, right? This allows us to structure data with any name, any key we want, and then put anything we want over here. The real power of dictionaries, though, is when we actually start putting a bunch of different things in here. So this is a contacts list, right? They might have more than just a phone number. So if they have more than just a phone number, then why don't we use a list here, right? You could just use a list like this. Okay, so you have a phone number here, and then you have an email address. So email address at website.com. This gotta be a string. Okay, at website.com, and same deal here. We just put a list. Whatever, m at web.com. Good enough. Some weird examples, but you guys get the idea. So you're able to now associate this key, this name of Joe, with all of these things in this list. All right. This is something that is very, very powerful with dictionaries. you're able to basically structure the data in any way you want, group it together in any way you want. And of course, this list can be of any length you want. So you can actually put as many contacts. You could have a phone number, you could have a email address, you could have a LinkedIn account, you could have a Facebook, you could have everything, an Instagram account, Snapchat, etc. It never ends. So you're basically allowed infinite flexibility when it comes to defining what it means to have a contact of Joe. You can even have his home address, his billing address, everything. Okay. But what about this? You could even make this better and actually make this a dictionary itself, right? So this is a dictionary, and then you have Joe, and then within this, its value is actually a dictionary. You see where I'm going with this, right? So you could actually have phone number, or just put phone, and then boom, you have that there, and email, okay? And now I have a dictionary of contacts with his name, and then for each person, there's a dictionary associated with that person that has all his contacts. So his phone is this, his email is this, and so on. And you can keep doing these nested dictionaries as much as you want. So this versus this, you can see how this is a little bit more descriptive. And you can really see the power of dictionaries here, because try representing all these ideas, like Joe has a phone number of this and an email of this, and Jane has a similar thing with only lists. Think about it. How would you coherently and in a smart and intelligent way represent that with a list? You just can't. So dictionaries are good for that. Some other examples you could use are, you could use dictionaries to do things like count the most common words in a sentence. This is a little example that I learned when I was learning dictionaries myself many years ago in my first Python class at university. But what if you had a dictionary called word counts, okay? And let's say you just wanted to count all the words in a string, or a sentence, which is a string. Okay, so let's just say, I like the name Aaron because the name Aaron is the best. All right. So we can see this sentence here, and let's say we wanted to. Actually, let's get rid of this to simplify this. Let's say we wanted to count all the words here, okay? And you want to count the how many times each word occurs in this dictionary. Something you could do with dictionaries is you could actually iterate through this entire string. Well, actually, you'd have to split this up into a list so that each word is its own element. There's a method for that called string dot, I believe, string dot split, and then you would get all these words in a list, and then you could iterate through all of them, and then every time you see a word, you add it to the dictionary, and every time you see it again, you can up the count. So it would end up looking like this. I'm not actually going to code this out because there's a lot of code there. You guys can do that if you want, but this is what the end result would actually look like. You would have I, okay, would be 1. You would have like, which would also be 1. All right, and then you would have the, which would be why is this double quotes? You would have the, and that would actually be 3. As you can see, it pops up 3 times. The here, the there, and the there. So this is the idea that I'm getting. So you're able to go in, and every time you see, you're iterating through these. Every time you see a word and you see that it's in the dictionary, then you can just go into this dictionary by indexing. Like for the, when this word the, whenever you see it, you could have just gone like this: word counts at the, and then you just add 1 to it. So whatever number's there, you would just add 1 to it. Okay. You would have to actually do it this way. So you would just say, okay, the new value of this thing here in the dictionary is whatever the old value was plus 1. Okay, and then you would, every time you see then you would chuck that in. Okay, that's the idea. So dictionaries are very useful for these kinds of things. It keeps it very nice and organized. You can see here it's counting how many occurrences of each word there are. Imagine if you had an entire book, you could actually go through this and then sort it by these values to see which words were used the most and which were used the least. Okay, and sorting a dictionary, that brings me to a different another thing I want to talk to you guys about is actually some methods you can use on dictionaries. So we have some dictionaries here, but let's say you wanted to get all of the data within the dictionary back out. So there's actually 3 methods here. I am going to print them out here in a comment so you can see what they look like. It's called dict.items, okay? Dict.keys, and dict.values. All right? So we have 3 methods here, and I'm just going to explain what they all do verbally, and then I'll show you. So here, this dict, you're just saying you have a dictionary here. So that would be word counts or contacts. You would stick that where this dict is. And then if you call .items on it, what you'll actually get is a list of tuples, and each tuple is a key value pair. All right? You will call .items, and you'll get a list of tuples, and each tuple is a key value pair. I said it twice so that you guys can let that sink in if you didn't get the first time. This one, same deal, but you will get a list of just the keys. So you would get I, like, and the for this. And if you call dict.values, you would get a list of only the values, 1, 1, and 3. Okay? So this gets you a list of tuples of both. This gets you a list of just the keys, the orange strings here, and this would get you just the green values, the numbers. Or these could be lists or dictionaries themselves. You know what I mean? It can be whatever you want. But these are the 3 methods. Let's just see what this looks like. Let's just do word counts, okay? So word counts dot items, okay? Let's just print this and close this off. Print it, and as you can see, it says dict items, and then you have this list in here of tuples. This highlighted portion, you have a list of a tuple, so I is 1, like is 1, and V is 3. Okay, if you wanted to make this actually a list instead of a dict items thing, apparently if you call items, you get a dict items object, but I'm pretty sure you could actually just cast this to a list, just like this, hit run, and bam, yeah, see, you just get the list out. So that's a very useful use case of casting. I think I went over that in a video a few days ago. Or a few minutes ago if you're watching this, if you're binge watching this and trying to learn Python for the first time or whatnot. But yeah, so you can actually cast that to a list to actually get the list out of it. So that's that. Let's try the next one now. So we have we have keys. Same deal is going to happen. If I delete this, you're going to get that dict items object again. So I'm just going to leave this list cast in and just change this. So instead of calling items, we're going to call keys. And you guys can probably predict what we're going to get. You get all the keys, I, like, and V. All right? And same deal with values. I'm just going to show you for completeness sake, but I'm pretty sure you guys understand what's going to happen. You're going to get these numbers here, 1, 1, and 3. Okay. So that's 3 very common methods in Python for dictionaries, but you also have a few more. Like, what if you wanted to delete something from a dictionary? Okay, if you wanted to delete something from a dictionary, how would you do that? Well, there's a method for that as well. So let's say we wanted to delete word counts equals what am I doing? Word counts dot pop. Okay, so pop, what it does. It's a little bit of a weird word choice, in my opinion. I'm used to it because I've been programming for a long time. But when you pop something, you are taking one item from a group of things, so a dictionary, a tuple, a list, or whatever, and then you're just popping one off. So you pop usually the last one or the top one or whatever. You pop off one element. That's why it's called pop instead of remove or something. But you can actually pop something out of a dictionary by calling its key. So this would actually completely get rid of this thing. If I ran this, or I am running this, I just haven't run the code yet, but this line of code will actually delete this from the dictionary, and then this will only be in the word counts dictionary following here. Likewise, if I use like, then it'll delete like, and if I use z, then it'll delete v. Okay? Let's just try that. So let's run this. And then, so print it before, delete v, and then print it after. Okay, so I'm gonna print the dictionary. You're gonna see the whole thing. I'm gonna pop one of them off, and then I'm going to print the dictionary again. So as you can see, v has disappeared because we popped it off. All right, so that's what pop does. That's how you remove a remove something from a dictionary. And one cool thing is it's called pop because this here is actually this. I mean this little thing. So if we actually printed this, it's actually popping. It's not just deleting it. It's actually popping it off and retrieving it from the dictionary for us, and then allowing us, and then getting rid of it. So let's say you had a bunch of contacts. You could be like, okay, retrieve and delete contact. Then you in this contacts dictionary, you could like pop off one of the things. It would delete it from the from the thing, and then it retrieves it so that you can like display like, oh, this person was deleted, blah 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 blah, or something like that. So as you can see, it gets this value. Actually, it doesn't get the entire thing. I guess when you pop it, then it only returns the value, not the key as well. But yeah, you're able to get the value of this key back from this entire expression here. All right, so that's pop. Now there's also a way you can just you can pop off a random one. So instead of actually specifying which one you want with the key, you can just call pop item like this. So let's say word counts dot pop item, and then print word counts. Print word counts like that, and let's do this twice. Boom, boom. So this is actually going to pop a random thing from this. It's either gonna pop this one or this one or this one. It's just random. I don't know how the computer determines that, but it's just random. So it's just, if all you wanted to do was just get rid of one thing, then you could do it that way. Or even like you could run pop item 3 times, and each time you go through it, remember how we got this 3 back when we just used the regular pop method here using the key, and we got 3 back. If you called pop item 3 times, you would eventually get all these numbers in a random order. But let's just say that's all you had to sum up all these things. You could actually do it this way. You could just pop item 3 times and then keep adding adding these numbers together. So 1 + 1 + 3, you would eventually get 5, something like that. I can't think of a good example right now, but I'm sure that would be useful in something. Dictionaries are very robust, and they can be applied to many different problems. That's why they're so beautiful. They're just so flexible and juicy and just sexy, you know? But if I keep running this, it doesn't appear to be random. Perhaps I'm wrong with that. I swore it was supposed to be random. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I will double check that. 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back, you guys. So yeah, I actually misunderstood when I was reading up on this method here. When I was reading this and refreshing it, it says it pops an arbitrary element, not a random element. And the distinction there is, pop item will pop the key you give it, the exact element that you specify. But pop item will just pop off the last one of the dictionary, okay? And since the last one could be anything you want, it seems to be consistent here every time, because that's the way we created it here. Here, this one, and this one. But because it's in this order, it's always gonna pop the last one. But sometimes if you, that's one thing I forgot to say. Yeah, actually, you can actually add to a dictionary too, simply by, let's go over that real quick because I'm gonna need that to continue. So put this on hold here. Okay, put this ID on hold, and we are going to go print word counts. How did I forget this? Word counts. You can actually, this is how you would add to a dictionary. You can actually specify, let's say, Aaron pops up twice in this word count, right? So let's put Aaron like that. And then we know it pops up twice, so let's just put 2. So what this will actually do is it'll create the key Aaron here, and then create the value 2, and it'll actually pop up in this word counts dictionary. So let's have 2 print statements here, and get rid of these so we're not confused, right? So what this is gonna do is it's gonna print this dictionary, then it's gonna add this to the dictionary, and then print it again so we can see it. So let's do that. And as you can see, we have the dictionary here, and then we added Aaron with the value of 2 to it. So that's how it got added to the dictionary. So that means whenever you're adding to a dictionary, it doesn't always add in the same spot. It might add to the end or somewhere else, because the dictionary doesn't actually have an order, unlike a list or a tuple. I don't think I actually mentioned that earlier, but yeah, dictionary doesn't have a order because you can index in as a key, okay? And it doesn't matter where the key in the list is. Whenever you use that key, it's always gonna be there. So a dictionary is just kind of like a bag of things, a bag of values that have like labels on them, which is the keys. And then you can just like, hey, just find this key, and then it spits out the value for you. So there's no specific order. All right, so that's how you add to a dictionary. But now let me go back to pop item. So I was saying earlier that pop item will pop an arbitrary one. So it doesn't pop a random one. It just pops, I think, the last one in the dictionary, and then whatever happens to be the last one, it pops that one, and then you get something back. So let's see what this gives us back. I'm not actually sure if this gives us just the value or the key and the value. So let's just try it. All right, so comment these out, hit run, and as you can see, it actually gives us a tuple. So you remember how pop only gave us 3? It only gave us the value 3 instead of this together. But when you do pop item, it actually pops a arbitrary element in the or entry in the dictionary as a tuple, so you get the key and the value, which makes sense because when you're popping, you're actually specifying the key. So you're like, okay, I know I want this key, and I'm gonna get that value associated with that key. But when you pop item, you need to keep it together, okay? And then you can, of course, just index into this tuple at 0 for the key and at 1 for the value if you wanted to. So that's pop item. All right. Let's just go like this: dict pop item, and continue on. We don't need these either. So that's how you. I'll leave this as a chunk together because that's kind of nice. You have a dictionary, and then you're adding to the dictionary here manually. All right. The last thing I wanted to go over was dict.clear. So what this will do is it'll literally just wipe out the entire dictionary, so that whatever your dictionary has, your dictionary will just look like this, an empty dictionary with absolutely nothing in it, okay? So if I called word counts.clear, all right, this is just gonna make word counts equal to nothing, all right? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's good if you just want to delete it. I mean, not even delete it, you're just clearing the dictionary. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it's there if you need it. I'm sure it's useful in many cases because, yeah, how else would you go and delete? You're not going to pop it like 27 times or whatever. If your dictionary is really long or 27 entries long, you're just going to clear it instead of doing anything else, or just overwrite it with a new dictionary. But yeah, that's the last one I wanted to go over. Like I mentioned, there's actually one last little thing I want to mention before I finish off this video. But like I said, dictionaries are actually unordered, so there's no specific order to them. But there is a module in Python called ordered dictionary, which actually keeps the order of a dictionary for you. All right, so I'm going to import that here. So it's from collections. Collections is just a package, I believe. Import ordered dict. Okay, ordered dict, just like that. So what this line is saying, from this collections package in Python, so this is just something in Python. There's a bunch of things in here that allow you to do different things. I'm not going to explain this now. If you don't understand this, look it up on Google if you're interested. Look up the from and import. But when you import something, you're importing a new kind of data type here, okay? A special data type called ordered dict. So what an ordered dict is, it'll actually allow you to keep an order in a dictionary. And the order that the dictionary has is the order that things are added to the dictionary, the ordered dict. So if you add something to the ordered dict, then that is the order that it will stay in. It won't be a random order all the time. I'm not sure why this was being not a random order, but it's supposed to be. But it seems to be consistent. Maybe it's because it's so small, but you cannot rely on a dictionary to be in the same order every time, okay? You cannot rely on a dictionary to be in the same order every time. You have to index by key, okay? Just be aware of that. That's why pop item says, oh, I have this twice. That's why pop item says it'll pop an arbitrary element, because it'll just pop the last one. Pop item will just pop the last one, which could be any random one, or it could be consistent. In this case, it's been consistent, but if it was random on a different computer, I've seen it be random before, just take my word for it, then yeah, then it'll be an arbitrary thing you get back from this method. So that is ordered dict. Useful probably for something, I'm not sure. I haven't actually really used it. I usually use dictionaries for things like this. But if you actually did want to sort a dictionary, I suppose you could use one of these things, right? You could get all these in a list and then sort the list and then put the list into an ordered dict so that the dictionary stays in the order that you added things to it. So you just keep appending to this ordered dict, and that would be it. I forget how to add to an ordered dict, but yeah, you could just call like, okay, word counts dot values or something, values, right? And then we have to cast this to a list, right? So list, just like that. So this will get us a list of all the values. So this would be 1, 1, 3, and 2. Remember, because we added this to the dictionary. This would get a list of length 4 with all those 4 numbers. Let me just show you. Hit run, okay? You get 1, 1, 3, 2, okay? So we get a list there. We can see that it's not in order. So you could actually say, okay, you could use sorted, but I prefer list.sort. So we're going to do list.sort just like that, okay? And then click oops, what is going on? Dot values, none. Maybe we do have to use sorted. I think I got mixed up here. Yeah, because this sorts it in place. So you could use sorted and just enclose the entire. You can see that what are these periods popping up? I don't want these. I'm just giving space for clarity's sake. As you can see, so we're getting all the values from the dictionary here. We're casting it to a list, and then we're sorting it. We want this list to be sorted, and then we are going to print that sorted list. So remember before, it was going in out of order 1, 1, 3, 2. Now it's going to be in order. As you can see, it's 1, 1, 2, 3. Pretty cool, right? And then also, you could probably cast this to a dictionary. All right. So now that you have a sorted list, cast it to a dictionary. Oops. But now we can actually print this dictionary. Apparently you can't do that. I mean, you'd have to use an ordered dict somehow to keep it in the way. You'd have to look that up. I'll leave that as an exercise for you. But yeah, look up how to use ordered dict to give it a list or something, and then be able to preserve the order of these things. Oh, I think the error actually here was, yeah, we have a list of numbers, but it's like, how the heck do you cast a list of numbers to a dict? That was the error that was having. That was stupid on my part. You would actually need to somehow preserve the keys as well. So maybe you'd have to actually use items instead of keys or values, and then sort by something else. But basically, yeah, that's pretty much all the basics of dictionaries in Python. There are a lot more things you can do with them. You can even do dictionary comprehensions or list comprehensions. You can actually, if you know what that is, I'm not going to go over that now, but it's just something to note. It's kind of cool. You can actually construct dictionaries just like you would a list comprehension, but it's a dictionary comprehension or a tuple comprehension. You can do that with these things. Very, very cool. But that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you for watching. I don't know how long this took. I feel like it was pretty dang long, but I really wanted to go over dictionaries thoroughly because dictionaries are freaking awesome in Python. You can do so much stuff with them. They're basically like mini classes. Yeah, like you don't have to use object-oriented programming because you can just use dictionaries to get little jobs done. But yeah, I'm just gushing now. I'm just gushing about dictionaries. So great. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.